freedom fighter. We all love the sound of that phrase. But what do we mean by it? And what does it take to be one? A freedom fighter is characterized by 5 essential traits. The first is selflessness. Fighting for freedom is usually not the most popular thing to do, or the most profitable thing to do. Often, it is merely the right thing to do. Fighting for freedom always comes with a cost. That cost is different for every person, but it does cost. Our founding fathers, in their own time, pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors to establish the freedom we have in this country. Like the freedom fighters of today, they counted that cost, and they were willing to pay it. Selflessness. Second is courage. The great freedom fighter Margaret Thatcher famously said, "You have enemies. Good! That means you've stood for something in your life." If freedom had no opposition, there would be no need to fight for it. But freedom will always have enemies, and those who defend it will always share those enemies. Freedom fighters do not need to pick unnecessary fights, but they will speak out when a voice is needed, and they will step forward when a stand must be made. They are people of courage. Third is integrity. Not just moral integrity, but consistency. The consistency to live by and act according to what they say they believe. There are many people who claim to be freedom fighters, but their actions deny their words. Freedom doesn't need that kind of friends. Freedom needs dependability. Freedom needs patriots who understand its principles, who believe in those principles, and who live and act consistently on a daily basis in accordance with those principles, come what may. They live with integrity. Fourth is endurance. The fight for freedom does not end with an election or with the passage or repeal of a bill. There is no expiration date, and those who defend freedom understand and accept this. Freedom fighters never give up. Because they understand with President Reagan that freedom is a fragile thing and is never more than one generation away from extinction. It is not passed on through the bloodstream. It must be fought for and defended by every generation, for it comes only once to a people. Those who have known freedom and lost it have never known it again. Freedom fighters are committed to endure. The fifth, and perhaps the most important trait of a freedom fighter, is vision. Everything else I've listed could be the trait of any fighter. Vision is what puts the freedom in freedom fighter. Freedom fighters are inspired by a vision both of what will happen if they do nothing, and of what can happen if they do something. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. The history of the world shows, often with tragic clarity, that oppression is the default state of mankind. Freedom is a rare exception. We live in a country that was founded on the exception, and freedom fighters glory in and fight for that exception. Throughout the generations, they have sacrificed, they have stepped forward, they have spoken out, they have lived true, and they have endured in defense of and for the love of that exception. May we all follow them in their footsteps in pursuit of that noble vision. Senator Cruz, Congressman Gohmert, thank you for being men of selflessness, of courage, of integrity, of endurance, and of vision. And thank you for fighting for our exceptional freedoms. We are grateful for you, we are praying for you, and we stand with you. May God bless you both. Thank you.
Aren't they simply wonderful? Very encouraging.